No, you're not seeing things. I am back once again for round two because, after all, what I said less than an hour ago, it seems like you want it, you got it. We're in the Church of All Wrestling Matters. It's Friday night. We're in prime time, and I'm riding shotgun with two guys that are usually here Friday nights. It's actually the first regular Friday night show here in a while because the last couple of Fridays, you've seen it with some different guests. Last Friday, let's not even go down that road. But we're here once again tonight with two of my guys. And, of course, is Armageddon Shane Davidson. And I'm trying to figure out what's the 999 references is, but I will ask certainly Mr. Alan Michaels if he's okay after what happened to him at the main event of Rampage 163. And certainly I'll get into that and might even show some dark-like footage for him in a few minutes. But fellas, how you feeling here tonight on a Friday in prime time? And what's cooking, my brothers?
I know it's great. I'm head's a little bit foggy from
You look
last
okay.
night.
You feeling good? You seeing not seeing double?
Not seeing double, but had a little bit of a headache this morning, but nothing the trendsetter can't shake off.
How you feeling there, Mr. Shane Davidson, Mr. Armageddon?
I'm doing pretty good, man. Just living life, coasting, just chilling, having a good old time.
To quote Ricky Martin, once upon a time, you live in the Vida Loca. Live in the Vida Loca.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You look like your colors are in the Vida Loca. So, I mean, where should we start off, gentlemen, before people obviously join this conversation eventually? But, I mean, what's on your mind? Do you want me to go with TBW and rub salt in the wound, Alan Michaels, the trendsetter? Do you want me to talk WWE, AEW? Do you want me to talk? It's been a wild week on Sportswire Radio. I'm sure people want to say different things about different things that have been said. And it was kind of funny because earlier we had on ADT. Obviously, ADT is the Alliance Wrestling World Champion. It was kind of a neutral show on Sportswire. Tonight was neutral. We were talking basically, and everybody was having a conversation. We were having fun, and it was kind of an unusual like Sportswire show. So where should I start off with you, gentlemen?
I mean, we can talk about what happened, what transpired last night on a TBW television.
You sure you want me to do that? Because obviously, it didn't go in your favor.
It didn't, but I'm still proud of the performance that I was able to put out. And I just have a feeling that it's not over between me and the Prophet Jay Wild. It can't end like that.
You don't say?
Can't allow it.
You can't allow it, huh? Can't allow it. Well, I guess then maybe I should rub salt in the wound and actually do it for those that are listening and watching. Is now people are starting to join because people are like, you didn't really talk about you were going live, but I kind of was going live. And I actually do. I did have a video, by the way, to announce this going live, but I actually was just on before. I just figured, people will just eventually find us on Sportswire because at this point, I'm always on Sportswire. So at this point, if you're on, they will come. But I guess it'll be a good reason then for me to maybe bring something up on the screen, Mr. Alan Michaels. But actually, before I do that, I actually should ask you because I really haven't got a chance to ask you about it. D'Angelo the Flame, you wrestled him in the opening match of the greatest backyard and underground wrestling show in history, Anniversary 7. Over 3,300 people viewed that match. You were the opening match, and I wanted to get your reactions on that, but also maybe talk about the fact that recently, I'm sure you're aware of, because it broke here on this platform about 48 hours ago, that D'Angelo the Flame is actually getting a tryout in TNA Impact Wrestling and for NWA, and maybe it's because of your match, Alan Michaels, so maybe I should be congratulating you, but I was curious to kind of start things off nice and easy for you. Maybe give you a softball, or maybe almost to kind of give you the ball, since you're a football guy, Alan, maybe give you the ball at the 1 yard line so you could basically run it in and get a touchdown. What do you think about the news of D'Angelo the Flame getting a tryout with TNA Impact Wrestling and the legendary NWA?
Well, Tom, a lot of people would say that it would be a surprise, but to me, it's not a surprise. I mean, D'Angelo has so much talent, so much charisma. I mean, not only that, he's a genuine, good person. And
everybody says the same thing. Yeah,
good things happen to good people, and he's good people, man. I mean, he tears it up. I'm proud to call him a friend, and I'm proud to say that I got to lock up with him, and I can't wait to tell people in the future how I wrestled a TNA World Heavyweight Champion at the beginning of Anniversary 7.
And could be WWE because, after all, we know, gentlemen, TNA has a relationship with WWE. So does that mean TNA Impact leads to WWE Wrestling?
No,
oh God!
I wasn't laughing at that. I wasn't laughing at that.
What I say? What did I say wrong?
Dude,
I got a lot of things on
dude.
Sportzwire the last few weeks, gentlemen. But
Fuck.
what did I say?
No.
Seriously, can somebody in the audience tell me what am I missing?
No, no, I saw something else. Sorry, I saw something else and it cracked me up.
Ah, I see.
I'm
Well,
sorry.
I'm actually gonna probably pull something else up that probably won't. Maybe it will. It won't crack you up. It's actually no. Well, I'm sure I'll get to those comments, but I'm actually gonna pull up the match that you had with none other than Mr. D'Angelo the Flame. Actually, to kind of start things off nice and easy here before we go live on a couple of other platforms, and you can see it here. Talk about what's going through your mind here in a match like this, Mr. Alan Michaels, Mr. Trendy, Mr. Trendsetter.
What's going to my bod right here is I know I gotta keep D'Angelo grounded. D'Angelo is quicker than me, more agile, and right now I'm just using my strength. And at this point in the match, it is pretty hot. It's pretty hot.
I was going to ask you, we spoke about that a couple days ago with the humidity, and what were you doing wearing a long sweater in like 60 to 70% humidity? What's wrong with you, Alan Michaels? I thought we were friends.
Staying trendy.
You have to stay trendy.
There's trendy, and then there's that though, wearing a sweater in like 85 degrees with like 70% humidity. I mean,
it's supposed to be a breathable shirt. It was not breathable. And you see right here, I'd take a break for 1 second, and he capitalized.
And he gave he gave you an RKO there. It looked like a little bit of
that. Yeah, that's what happens when you face someone like D'Angelo. You have to stay on top of him 24/7 because you never know. And then look right here.
Look at that. How about that move?
Boom. I mean, I was not prepared. I was not ready. 1, 2. Hey,
this time you kicked
not done yet.
Not done yet. Not gonna lie. That was a trendy like kick out.
We tell each other before the match that we was gonna give it our all no matter what. We're friends. And right here, he told me, he was like, "Hey, it's getting hot." I said, "Hey, it's getting hot as well."
Did he really say that? No, this is what I think he said. I think he said that, listen, what were you doing wearing a long sleeve sweater, like 85-degree weather?
We had to take the locks out. I had to take off my.
Now I think did I not mention this the other day? What the heck were you doing wearing a Pittsburgh Steelers? Now I'm happy about it because obviously my football team.
That's my apologies to Steelers fans after they traded for Justin Fields. That's my apology.
Boo. Boo.
Hey,
this was a good point in the match, though. I did enjoy this part actually. That was a good little lock up there where you traded some punches, though. What do you think, Shane? Watching a match like this, what's going in your mind? Seeing these two guys lock up the way they are, what are you seeing here in the match?
Hey, God, man, hold on. These comments are going crazy.
I'll get to those comments, but I have to use my serious journalistic skills. And,
absolutely. But what's going through my mind right now is like it's a I'm proud of my boy here, man. Even though we've had our differences in TBW, we didn't really see eye to eye. He's still my boy, and I'm still proud of him. That's all I can say. He got to live out the dream and actually face an opponent he dreamed of facing for such a long time.
So basically, you left just enough left for him last season to give him the opportunity to wrestle the likes of Jay Wild and D'Angelo.
I believe I stepped away because I felt like I was in the wrong for costing him his opportunity for the gold.
So you were very I
was very upset because I was like, what did I do? What have I done? I just costed him everything.
And then Alan, you see there, you're getting up there, but what a gentleman D'Angelo is. And most people wouldn't do that, but obviously D'Angelo gave you the leg up there, and what a nice gesture.
It's crazy because a lot of people thought that I was going to turn on D'Angelo here, but I couldn't do that to my boy.
You stay trendy. The trendy move would be to do that. Maybe that would be the trendy move. But D'Angelo, the success he's having, it's crazy. I mean, ADT was talking about it a little while ago, and a few months ago, look at where he was to where he is now. I mean, Jack Delta has even acknowledged him. Yeah, everybody says, I want to wrestle Jack Delta. Yeah, but Jack Delta actually recognized him. And, everybody look at Soulja last night. Soulja was going back and forth with him. It was just crazy. And, and that's just wild and stuff. And, I did want to come out and play your music because I did kind of wanted to hear your music for a second. Not his music, not quite. Here we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
My Mike, Alan, and Joseph. Welcome back, little Mike.
There we go.
Both these men took the video.
New music, by the way.
Instagram. And Alan,
it was looking like throwback, like
video,
80s
and the flame
footsteps there.
responded and accepted. And you see the
D'Angelo bopping
official
to it.
referee Stephen O.
Okay, so I will put that. We'll take it off the screen for a few minutes. But what was with the like little like hip hop footstep from the 80s there when you came out?
It's kind of what I always do every single time I get into the ring.
I never asked you
And
about that before. I wanted to ask you that for the
The
audience.
first time I ever got into a ring at the age of 18 years old, I tripped on the second rope and fell on my face.
Really?
So, yes, the first time I'd ever stepped in the ring.
You know, you are live right now. To admit that live with like almost 20 people watching this live, I don't know if that's a trendy like move.
Hey, I'm open and honest, and it's okay to make
mistakes.
mistakes.
And then there's not an open saying, yeah, you know, my first match I fell.
No, it wasn't my first match. My first like training session. First ever
okay. Still,
training
though,
session.
I wouldn't admit it. I would admit it, you know.
Nah, hey, but so now
It's
every
almost
single
like
time.
Kevin Nash famously on Raw. You know, he fell and tore his quad, comes back in the ring, and you know, oops. And that was that for a moment. Yeah, that was a moment.
So now every single time I just kick my leg up and I bounce a little bit, you know.
You like the Shane? You like his foot bounce? You like his dance steps there, Shane? You're a rapper also.
It don't matter to me.
It's also a little shades to Ray Lewis, you know. Ray Lewis.
I mean, y'all saw my entrance. My entrance was basic. I'm not getting hype. I just keep my head in the game. That's all I got to do.
Yeah, you like to get hype. Well, there's somebody apparently that's decided that they want to get hype and, you know, come into the conversation, and it won't be who you think it is, or maybe who you will think it is. And I'm actually going to let that person be hype and, you know, say a few things to you, gentlemen, but especially you, Alan Michaels, the trendsetter, Mr. 999, which I think I know what the 999 reference is, and I'll play that video up certainly shortly, but maybe I will get to comments to buy some time for this individual. Zilla is here once again. Hello, Zilla. Ethan Sorensen is back. I was wondering about Ethan Sorensen. Ethan's here. Hello, Tom Bryce, Alan Michaels, and Shane Davidson. How are you doing today? I'm pretty good. How about you guys? My hardcore. By the way, what did you guys think about me wearing my Hardcore King shirt yesterday on Sportzwire?
That was cool. That was cool.
Oh, you liked it, huh? So I'm glad somebody liked it. But speaking of people that seem to obviously want to like something that I said, but maybe not so much you two said, that is my Hardcore King. And let me first of all, let me get into the routine here.
What's up, Nemesis?
I bow down to my Hardcore King. I respect my Hardcore King. what are you doing? Seriously, I've seen you on YouTube like all day. I saw you in Massachusetts on their stream. You were talking with ADT. And what are you doing? Do you like live on YouTube like me? Do we have the same life?
Yeah.
So what do you want to tell me?
I was just gonna say, what is Shane Davidson? I mean, wait, hold up. Is Shane Davidson green or not?
What you're green, Shane? What are you green about?
Apparently, that's the big rumor that's going around. I'm green.
What are you green? So what are you green? And I'm looking at you. I don't think you're color green.
So green is a wrestling terminology for basically a rookie.
But I thought you had 12 years experience though.
I guess that doesn't account for like all my accomplishments.
Oh shit.
Apparently, like all my accomplishments that I've succeeded doesn't matter to some people. I'm not saying Atomic Titan here. He's on my side with this, no matter like right now on this side of it, because is
there something that's on your mind, gentlemen? That there's something that you might want to point out. Do you not like my green ADT shirt? Is that what it is? The green.
All I'm saying is main event in the TBW episode with the TBW World Heavyweight Champion's pretty good for someone who's green.
Yeah, good job.
I appreciate it.
I thought you guys but I thought we went through this dance. You guys were in SWF. I know we can't bring it out, but I mean, you were trained. I mean, we've known each other for a year, and I'm almost pretty certain I could actually show it. That
there was a certain individual.
I happen to be friends with this individual. Right?
You happen to know this certain individual.
I know him very well, right? I know him very well.
Yeah.
So what would you like to say about this certain individual?
After season finale, there was a message that was sent to Troy in a group chat.
Now, who is Troy? Because I don't know anybody named Troy. I know Troy Avenue in Brooklyn. Atomic
Titan.
Hey, Hardcore King. Wrestling here. I don't know anybody named Troy. I only know my Hardcore King.
Anyway, the Hardcore King. Anyway,
I'll give you a pass. I'll give you a pass.
Atomic Titan received a message from a certain individual claiming that about season finale last year, saying that I was green, didn't know what I was doing, yada yada yada. I mean, I could play the voice message, but I'm not gonna expose that said individual.
So, was there any particular reason from your vantage point on why that was? Do you think, or anything that
Jealousy.
Okay.
Jealousy.
Was there any issues when you were in a locker room? With
No.
I'm assuming no. So there was no issues.
No, there was all mutual respect. But now that I'm finding out you're going behind my back and running your mouth, you don't know me, buddy. You don't know my history. Everybody's like, it don't matter if you're a 20-year, 30-year vet. Well, the thing is, when a certain individual calls them a 20-year vet, you're labeling yourself as a professional wrestler. And you're not a professional wrestler. You're self-taught. And I don't like I'm really not liking this individual anymore.
And
that's my rant for now.
No, is there anything else you'd like to add? You're welcome. You're welcome.
And that's
to have the
because there
floor.
can't be no other way.
Yeah.
Can
Well,
you?
all I'm gonna say on this is,
Oh, you want to say something else?
yeah, the individual who's in question. If there is something that needs to be said, you know where my DMs are. You know where I wrestle at.
You do. Where do you wrestle at?
I wrestle at CBW. There's a
Not
DMs are
UWA?
open. Hey, you know,
No, I love UWA. It's just
everybody has their opinions,
Yeah.
but you know, I'm a man and I
You're a big
come
man.
about people's
man.
problems face to face. If I have an issue with somebody, I'm gonna handle it. This
And a
issue
form of-
wasn't handled in the correct way, and from now on, just come
You
hit me
know,
in my DMs.
I also want to add to this, Tom.
Go for
Atomic Titan, I want to do something because I haven't been able to officially do this face-to-face. Atomic Titan, I do apologize for the past, for me going on Sportswire and bad-mouthing you guys. I was wrong. I shouldn't have done that. I was angry. I was frustrated. But I just want to say I apologize for taking it online, and it was nothing personal. I was just upset and frustrated. So that's
Okay.
all I want to.
I appreciate it.
Okay. Well, I mean, look,
And, you know,
I
There's no
hope
bad
I
blood
appreciate
nowhere.
it.
No bad blood
Nice.
anywhere with anybody. I
No,
don't
I
have
don't
no
hate
beef with
you.
no one. No, I'm just saying for the whole rest of me, I have no beef with no one. I have no issues. But if you have an issue with me, you just address me personally.
I thought we had a beef, Alan, about some of the things I was going to say about you with Jay Wild.
Oh, that's some beef there, but you know,
And I
I
thought you
prefer
had some
chicken.
beef about me bowing down to my hardcore king.
nah. See, I have issues with the hardcore king, but
I want
that's
to know,
neither
you know
here nor
what?
there.
I wanted to hold on a second. We'll come back to some of those things. People are just joining the conversation. Did you like go to the movie? Is you like doing something nice on a Friday? Like, are you actually like out somewhere and about? Like, I don't know. Like, really? Like, don't you want to like go out with the movies and like go out? I don't know. Maybe like put like Post
Yeah.
Malone, "I Like You" with your girlfriend or something, and basically go out there with that Maserati with that way back Maybach candy, and maybe go somewhere nice and kind of. Expound upon why you're a hardcore king. We're seriously like, I mean, you can do whatever you want. I don't mind you being here. You can be here anytime. I bow down to you and acknowledge you, but it's a Friday night. You think you're going to the movies or something? Like, what are you up to?
Getting ready for Rampage.
Well, that's a good idea. It's a good idea.
Yeah.
That's a good idea. Do you think I'll get a chance to watch it when it comes out or no? No.
Yeah.
You think I'll get a chance to talk about it?
Yeah, I'm sure you will because I have a message for everybody. So stay tuned.
I enjoyed when
But
you came on and confronted Omen Black and Soldier GP, but
Yeah, you're all right.
that was funny.
Well, I
I'll let
gotta
you
go.
Okay,
Yeah.
bye. See ya. Hope
That's
you.
because there can't be no other way. See you
I bow
later.
down to you though. Let me acknowledge my hardcore king. See ya. There you go. That was a guy, I guess you used to work with, Shane, and a guy that beat you, by the way, Alan Michaels. And I don't know anybody named Troy. I only know anybody named Atomic Titan. So whoever that might be named, Troy. I only know Troy Avenue in Brooklyn, right off Flatbush Avenue. I know Troy Avenue, but that was where Chris Mullen grew up. But
Backstage at TBW, I did one
Yeah.
of these to Atomic Titan, and I smacked him on the back of the neck because he looked at it.
Why'd you do that for?
I had to. Something my brain was telling me. I have the mind goblin, Tom.
Boy, you guys, I'll tell you what, you guys certainly are definitely doing your own version of Bad Boys Ride or Die here. I mean, certainly you guys can do your own. Did you guys see that movie yet by any chance? Because I happen to see
I have
it.
not. I saw the ending of it though.
You saw it. You didn't see the movie, but you saw the ending. What
I was
sense does that
scrolling
make?
on the TikTok, man, and I accidentally stumbled upon it.
Gotta stay trendy on the talk, man.
Well,
Got
I
to.
did like the ending. How about you? Don't spoil it for the audience. But did you like the ending?
It was pretty funny.
Can
Yeah.
I just say one thing about the movie without spoiling it? If you get a chance, there's one small scene with Vanessa Hudgens, basically with wearing very little things. That might be the one scene you might want to pay attention, because if you don't miss it and you blink, you'll miss it. So just wanted to put that out there. But anything else you want to get off your mind before I go back and maybe see what the audience likes?
I feel better. I feel better.
Okay.
I feel great. Yeah. And that wasn't me bad mouthing anybody. That's just me telling, my vantage point.
I'm definitely shitting on the
Respectfully.
individual.
Damn.
I'm definitely shitting on him. He pissed me off. I'm sorry. I'm genuinely upset.
Why did he piss you off from your vantage point for the audience?
Because he went behind my back and not confront me and say I'm green. Don't go behind don't go behind other people's back and be like, hey, this person's green when you don't know me. For one, I could have told you my history. I could have told you where I came from. And for two, he claims to be this 20-year vet, and all his training is the Santino Bros. I get it. People like to study them. People like to watch them just to, better their craft. But did I want to know if he had actual in-ring training?
Well, that's not even the issue. There's nothing wrong with people who are self-trained.
Nothing wrong with it.
I
wrong with
wouldn't
it.
admittedly know that. I would see. I'm not trained. I always tell people this. I'm not a trained wrestler, so it's hard for me to make a judgment call on that. It's like,
Here's my thing. There's
for it.
people who are self-trained who go in the ring week in and week out perfecting their
Right.
craft. That I respect them. They're in there trying to learn. There are people in there with me who are trying to learn, and I respect it 100%, and that's, that's what it is. If you're in there every single week getting better, 100% to you. But if you're not, and you're self-trained, it's going to continuously get harder for you to get better and ascend past the level you're at.
But I remember, because we've known each other for a while, and obviously I understand your situation. I don't know enough of the details between yourselves, and it sounds like James Taylor. And I don't know enough about the details because, as I always tell people, I wasn't there. So it's hard for me to make a judgment call, especially when it comes to, obviously, you, Shane, and James are friends of mine. So obviously it's obviously you don't want to pick one side, but what it sounds like though is that you guys are trained. Because I remember last year you both were telling me about you were trained wrestlers. I do remember that. Now, is there something you want to expound upon? You went to a school, obviously, right? You're telling me that James, from your vantage point, was self-trained. I don't know a lot about the histories there and that, but you guys, I do remember you telling me you were trained and that you went to a school and all that formal stuff. Am I missing something on your guys' history?
We did a school FXC.
Yeah, I remember. I remember. Yes,
I trained at Tried and True Pro Wrestling. I trained at FXE with Alan Michaels.
Mm-hmm.
I trained. He don't like me mentioning him anymore, but I'm gonna mention him anyway. Cousin Condry.
Is that SWF where I basically said bad things?
It
about
is, but Cousin Condry.
USWF though. I'm not gonna hold back on them.
Cousin Condry, as a wrestler, as a pure wrestler, is amazing at what he does. That he's great. We was also trained by Shane Morton, and
okay, I heard the name.
Yeah. So that's we took years from our lives and countless amount of dollars, time away from people that we care about.
Absolutely, it's very expensive.
My wife.
That I know. It's several $1,000s minimum, sure.
Yeah, and then the time away, the mental strain it puts on you, because trainers aren't nice. I mean, trainers are not trying to be your friend. They are going to work the dog out of you.
Hogan, when he went to train, his leg got broken. He went out there in Florida what was it, 1978 or whatever it was, and he broke his leg. I mean, people really go out there. Stu Hart, the Dungeon. I mean, he would break guys famously. I mean, it's training to be a wrestler is not like when I learned to play guitar. I had a guitar teacher. He would sit there and I would learn the chord. And, after like 3 months, I got the hang of it and I kind of became a competent player. But being a wrestler is a totally, it's a different dynamic, I would imagine.
It is. It's so mental. And, I'm not going to mention the name who said this to me, but I literally had a promoter after I did a show, my first show ever, looked me dead in my face and said that I wasn't going to make it and that I better start learning how to set up the ring. So when you get told,
you better name drop him, dude. Piece of shit.
Name him.
It was Ox Harley. Ox Harley, who wrestled in ECW. He wrestled a match in ECW.
Well, he wrestled a match, but he only wrestled one match, so they didn't invite him back. So the good news is that they did invite him back, and they'll never invite him again because they're out of business. Probably because he wrestled there one time. That was a good one.
I mean, that was a great one, Tom, dude.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Piece of shit. I don't give a damn about him.
I wouldn't have said it that way, but yeah, that's why he only wrestled one match in ECW. He's a one-hit wonder, or a one-miss wonder. Get it? One-miss wonder.
Yeah, I mean, so when someone sits there and downplays what I've accomplished so far, it really it bothers me because I've worked my ass off to get to where I am. I've countless hours of me and Shane Davison in a room, brainstorming and coming up with characters, coming up with ideas, practicing promos on each other. Countless nights of us in the kitchen throwing fake punches at each other to get it down pat. So,
listen, last night to end the show, we had Gabe Sayers, Mikey Anarchy, and Angel Santiago. And Gabe goes, I'm going to write my show, which is tomorrow, TF Crew Death Row, and I got to do it till like 4 o'clock in the morning. So, yeah, it's like, really a hard thing to be a wrestler and go into that whole, that whole thing. Absolutely. I have all the respect and affinity for wrestlers that, like yourself, that go out there and put the time in, sure.
Yeah, I just don't appreciate someone downplaying what I've done. It bothers me because, I spend a lot of time with wrestling.
A lot of time. A lot of money.
A lot of arguments over wrestling. A lot of friendships lost over it. I mean, it's something that I've literally put wrestling at the top of my priority list.
Can I tell them the story?
We're live, Shane. You've been here about 50 times at this point. You're alive.
The FXC story. Can I tell them the story?
You can say anything.
Hold on. I wouldn't because we did sign the agreement.
Okay, then don't do it. If you signed an agreement,
no. I'm not talking about the way they treated us. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about
the main eventer for the biggest backyard underground wrestling company in history. Let's not say something to jeopardize this poor, trendy main event star.
It's not about that. We signed an NDA. We signed an NDA.
I actually, as somebody who actually legally is a notary public who actually took an oath, I would certainly advise if you signed any legal documents and they were witnessed with an oath with a signature, I would say we could talk about something else.
Absolutely.
That was a great transition. Let's get to some more comments here. Atomic Titan already showed up. Ethan Sorens would like to say my thoughts on the Cody Rhodes AJ segment was pretty good. What do you guys think? Are you guys interested in Clash of the Castle tomorrow? Anything with that? You guys interested in anything? What do you want to say now?
So this is just a theory, and I don't think he's going to show up at Clash of the Castle, but there was a video that popped up the other day of Joe Hendry training with Natalya in the dungeon. And, that could just be he's there for a training session. That could be that. But with the partnership of Impact and NXT, I wouldn't say it's off the table of seeing someone like Joe Hendry, who is Scottish, make an appearance.
I was going to say that would be a big thing. And, we have a relationship with TNA and WWE. And obviously when D'Angelo LaFlame, gets accepted by TNA Impact, we'll see him in WWE. And we'll obviously remember that was D'Angelo LaFlame on Sportswire. But that would be a pretty big deal. And Joe Hendry's like almost more of a bigger flavor than you, Alan, at this point. That would be a big, big thing.
Hey, I believe in him.
You do?
I don't want to say his name. He might appear in my room, but
that was pretty funny, by the way, on Raw when that came up. Is there anything you think else? What about AJ Styles and this? I guess one more run. I suppose I don't know what you might want to call it, but anything on that's interesting to you?
It's cool because of the whole TNA angle as well. I'm gonna go back to the TNA. AJ Styles' majority bulk of his career, his prime was in
Oh,
Impact.
absolutely. I would say his WWE peak is what, 3 years? 3-year run?
Yeah.
Like
I would
3?
say, but I would love to see another match or AJ in TNA. So I think this is really setting up to be his last hurrah, his last little. He's gonna have this match against Cody. I can really see him really taking Cody to the limit, like it being like a really good 30 minute like banger of a match. He's gonna take Cody to the limit. Cody's gonna pull out the 3 crossroads and pin him 1, 2, 3. He's going to show AJ respect at the end. AJ's going to show him respect back. And I think AJ on his last little run is going to be in the TNA NXT little thing they have going on.
Well, I wanted to ask you guys this question in a general, and I know there's more comments we hear, of course, with my buddies, and I'm definitely friends with them, and I don't think there's any recorded messages of me saying anything about them. I would hope. I mean, these guys will come after me. Look how big they are. But they are Shane Davidson and Alan Michaels. My name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, still with a voice. But, TNA Impact, obviously kind of almost a foreign word to WWE. Up until a couple of years ago, Mickie James famously appears in the Women's Royal Rumble. There was a moment, I think, Christian got inducted into their Hall of Fame when he was in WWE. There's, drips and drabs here and there. Jordan Lynn Grace, everybody's talking about. But, is there any TNA names or, WWE people that have TNA history that you guys would like to see maybe go to different places in those two companies? Anything you like names that come to mind for you guys that, people are having fun with at the moment?
Leo Rush.
It's a good one.
I've heard rumors of Jeff Hardy making his way back to TNA. So
well, Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy aren't they like free agents of some sort? That would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, Matt's more of a he's doing the same thing that New Japan does, and where he'll sign a contract for matches and not like a month or anything like that.
He's on a per diem basis, basically.
Yeah, pretty much. And I think that's when you're an indie star like that, when you're an indie sensation, that's really the way to go up until you can get signed to that bigger promotion.
Look at Matt Cardona, right? I mean, he's made a huge niche for himself in that lane, right? Not with the company, but he's become like almost like a D'Angelo the Flame and a Jack Delta in our world. Everybody wants to have him and wrestle for their company. So that's that's a good name. I mean, I think the Hardys would be interesting. I mean, Drew McIntyre, people will obviously, but I would think Bobby Lashley would be a good name. Maybe,
Nick Nemeth, Mustafa Ali.
Mustafa Ali would be interesting.
I'm more excited to see what Moose could do at a WWE.
stage. I was going to say the same thing, because that's a guy that has had a lot of success in TNA, but never seen him in a WWE ring. Never really seen him.
He has the look and build and style for it too. I could really see him at some point making the transition and become being in the WWE.
Oh, I think that would be. You could really have some really interesting matches there that you would get a chance. You would never have gotten a chance to see that. You would get a chance. Anything for you, Shane? Are we calling you Armageddon these days? Are you back to Armageddon?
I mean, yeah. If you want to call me I feel like I should. I think it's time for me to start going by Armageddon again.
The background looks like it's Armageddon.
I mean,
the blue light. No, the blue light. No, it's good. The blue light. Maybe you're prepared for Armageddon. I don't know. Maybe, no. I was actually. You could have kept the lights. You could have kept them. People, they're happy with it. They're commenting. We have 25 people watching. You're doing good. Don't worry. It seems like if I talk wrestling at this point, the world will turn out. But anything for you, Shay? Anybody else you'd like to see?
Other than Leo Rush, man, Leo Rush is really like popping out right now, and he's like, I don't know. Everybody considers him the sore thumb of TNA, and I don't know. I just think he's underused, and I think he's underappreciated. Leo Rush is he's so agile, and he's so, I don't know. He's just got a great mindset.
I got a question for you guys, and obviously AEW during COVID had a relationship with TNA. Christian went back there, won the world title. Kenny Omega wrestled Rich Swann, champion versus champion. So why do you think WWE will do a better job with the TNA partnership versus when AEW had it?
Well, here's my thing on why I think WWE decided to do a partnership with TNA.
Tell me.
So if WWE knows that if it was partners with TNA and other companies like that, what's next month? Like, what's coming up in AEW? What pay-per-view is coming up? Forbidden Door.
Yeah.
TNA is not finna go work with AEW with their working with WWE because that will piss off WWE, and they're not trying to piss off WWE.
Absolutely.
So,
They're the mothership.
WWE is smart by doing this. They're gonna partner with all these little companies, and then they're not gonna compete in Forbidden Door.
They never did it in our lifetimes with I guess we knew it years later, but ECW, they did technically because they were funding Paul Heyman during the Monday Night Wars, quote unquote. There was a relationship there. There was a little bit of period of time when the NWA was no longer partnered with WCW, that they had a sort of a relationship. But historically, WWE has never, ever, I could recall, do anything to this magnitude. I mean, I'm pretty safe on this, right, guys?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the only time I really thought I can think back and think of maybe a time is where WWE had like their partnership with New Japan, and it was Hulk Hogan versus what was his name?
Was it Muda?
Yeah, I think no, it wasn't. Well, he faced Muda, but he faced someone else too who was a legit fighter as well. He was also like a kickboxer.
Was that the time where he kind of said, "Oh, the WWE Championship or WWF Championship at the time doesn't mean anything"? That was kind of a dumb statement to say, right? Pretty dumb.
But as of now, the WWE kind of has like we can thank the one thing AEW's done that we can really thank them for is Forbidden Door, because without Forbidden Door, you wouldn't see WWE partnering up with companies like that.
Yeah, I think, look, I think it's good for the sport. I think it's good that we obviously open the line of communities, because what are we talking about here on Sportswire all these past several months, right? All wrestling matters, open collaboration, opening doors that we'll certainly talk about here in a few minutes. But let me get to some comments here. Our buddy and your buddy, Mr. Jack Spade, the icon Jack Spade. I know you guys shared a locker room with me. Anything you want to say to Jack? Anything you want to say to Jack?
How's it been, man? Everything doing all right?
He's been here a few times on Sportswire. You had to have watched the streams. He's been here actually quite a bit.
Oh yeah, I think it was in one.
I think you were. You made a cameo. Like you made literally a cameo. It's the Nemesis. Are you now? Is your name should I have called you the Nemesis, Shane Davidson? What's the story with this? What am I missing here? Or am I late to the party? Am I late to the party? Is that what it is? Am I late to the party? I'm always late to the party. I'm a party.
I know what he's doing. It is.
I see. Well, we'll certainly move away from that, and there can't be no. I see. I get it. Okay, let's. Oh, I see. I think you answered this stuff. See, I'm late to the party. That's why I'm behind. I got a good one from Ethan here before I move on. Tom and the gang, what are your thoughts on the Kevin Owens and Solo Sikoa match and the Randy Orton surprise return? What do you guys think on some of that? Anything?
It's right now. It's hard to get behind Solo. It's hard to take him serious. If they would have done this right after he beat John Cena, then the new bloodline would have been credible. But as of right now, he's taken so many losses up to this point that even with Tonga Loa and Tama Tonga behind him, with Paul Heyman, he still isn't a threat. And we saw that with Kevin Owens and Randy Orton versus Solo and Tama Tonga. He just doesn't have that main event feel right now. He doesn't seem like he can. Especially going from
less of an event than it was pre-Mania.
It's cool to watch because we all know what the outcome is going to be, and the outcome is going to be amazing. But as of right now, I'm more focused on what's happening on Raw with Dominic and the Judgment Day and Liv Morgan.
Would you like to be in Dominic's position?
I would love to be in Dominic's position.
I won't say the wrestler that was. We were actually, because I'll make myself like an idiot. Well, actually, no. It was a wrestler that is friends of the platform, and he was talking about Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley, and I was like, maybe I would like Liv Morgan after what some of the pictures he was showing me. No, nothing bad, but it was like the position of Dominic and Liv, and I was like, I think I'd like to be Dominic these days, but man, tough problem to have, huh?
Liv's a Green Bay Packer fan too, so I mean, we work well together.
Yeah.
We work well.
Jersey girl too. She was in Hooters once upon a time. Worked for Hooters. Who would have guessed, right? No, seriously. Did you guys see during COVID her documentary when WWE was doing the documentaries? And actually, she worked at Hooters. She's from Wildwood, New Jersey, which is actually probably like from my house, probably like 75 minutes from my house, maybe by car, 80 minutes. So yeah, she's I mean, where I grew up, it's a lot farther because I'm from Brooklyn, but where I live now, it's like 80 minutes. And a lot of people vacation from her. But yeah, she's definitely, did you guys see her? Actually, we're going to go on this because we're going live. We are live. Did you see her in that like red, outfit kind of similar to Britney Spears in 2000? Would you give that a thumbs up, thumbs down? Would you? Yeah, thumbs up.
If I had 3, I would.
It was trendy for you enough.
She could meal and staying trendy whenever.
Maybe you could have her, instead of focusing on, people that you might have had said things about you, maybe you could focus on the next if your health is okay, in the next TBW Rampage show, try to book your next guest as on the show would be Liv Morgan, obviously being the women's champion, WWE, obviously, an attractive woman you have an affinity for, obviously being a Packers fan like yourself. Maybe that's the way you should go, Mr. Alan Michaels.
It would be, but as much as I like Liv Morgan, I got my eye on different prize.
Oh, I'm gonna get to that. But Zilla is back with the usual comments. Thank you, Zilla, for tuning in, though. Our buddy Darkron, Darkron is the one that's hosting Summer Bash, and I'm gonna put the photo up here in a second. But I know Shane, you're gonna obviously probably be like me in spirit there. I'm probably not going to be there at the moment, but you never know. But I guess, Mr. Michaels, is there a possibility you might meet Mr. Darkron? Is there a possibility that you may be meeting this fellow over there in Bremen, Ohio, or no? You don't know.
Oh yes, there's 100% chance that I will.
100%. Wow, there's 100%.
I'm going to be at Summer Bash. Alan Michaels, the trendsetter, will be in Ohio at Summer Bash.
Wow, so you are going to be in Bremen, Ohio, July 5th to July 7th. Boy, ain't that something? Ain't that grand? Life is sure grand, and you must be very excited to meet Darkron on the compound there, and Summer Bash to be the biggest backyard underground spectacle in history, and it's almost everybody and anybody from the yard. There's independent wrestlers. There's your buddy D'Angelo the Flame wrestling Soldier GP there, and Omen Black's wrestling Anthony Steele, and another former TBW employee, and I mean JX is going to be wrestling them. It's a slew of major. What's up, Shane? The floor is yours.
I was going to ask, Mr. Alan
Yes.
Michaels, how are you traveling? Are you going by plane? Are you going by car? What you traveling?
Definitely not going by plane.
Why not? Why not?
That plane called out the sky with his big ass.
I am deathly afraid of heights. Deathly.
It's funny. I actually have the same. We're live on the platform. I actually have the same problem as you. As a kid, my parents. The only time we ever went on a real vacation, we went to Florida. We went to Universal Studios, right? I guess it was Ocala, and we were on the plane ride back to LaGuardia, which is, for those that don't know, is in Queens, New York. It's where actually the baseball team, the Mets, play. Not far from the plane. Wouldn't land for like almost 3 hours, and like I thought we were gonna die. I'll be honest with you. I really thought that I was going to die on the plane. I was panicking on the way because when we went there, it was like the plane ride going there was bumpy. It was like tight. It was bumpy. And it was just like my ears were ringing. And then I was dreading the ride back home for like 3 days. And then everything was fine. And then all of a sudden we're getting ready to go. And obviously the planes to obviously meet its final destination. It was in the circling for 3 hours. I thought I will not ride in a plane since then. I'm like,
you wanna know a fear of mine, Tom? Too. I'm 6'6" and I'm also terrified of heights.
Well, you might be terrified of being in a plane because of you wouldn't even fit on the plane, right?
That's what I was getting at, Tom. Shane, I hope you get on the plane one day. I will make sure to get the seat in front of you and the entire time leaning my seat back, smashing your kneecaps.
Oh, that's payback for. Yeah, huh? Then in Tennessee, that's payback for TBW, huh?
That's payback from 15 seconds ago. That's what it was.
That is a very good point. Duly noted there. Thank you very much for reminding me that. I'm actually about to put the poster up here of Summer Bash, and for whatever reason I can't read. I got it right here in front of me, so thank you very much for bearing with me here for the audience, because we have the photo right here. There we go. Now I got it here. We're going to certainly stay trendy. I got a bunch of comments here, and I apologize for you waiting that I actually have the poster right here. So here it is. There it is. And that is Summer Bash. And you got it right here. It's the biggest underground party of the summer. It's going to take place in July 5th to July 7th at Pleasant View Road in Bremen, Ohio. You're going to have 16 wrestlers, 8 qualifying matches. Winning, you're in. 8-man ladder match to crown the first All Wrestling Matters World Underground Championship, which I'm certainly sponsoring. A huge water slide. Who's the next ramp champ? Open invite to all Yard Indian Underground wrestlers. Sean Jovi's going to be taping his thing. Boy, Alan Michaels, you and Sean Jovi meaning the Battle of Talk Show host. That would be an interesting conversation. You and the resident rock star Sean Jovi. You got the PWF Championship Battle Royal, which we unveiled the championship belt last time on the show, and it's All Wrestling Matters, the hashtag that we have certainly taken a bull by the horn for, and we want to thank DKW and IMF for presenting the show. It's definitely the biggest underground party of the summer, and check out more details on that. And thank you to our brother Darkron. We'll come back to Clash of the Castle. Apparently, by the way, did you hear that Joseph Tibbs is coming back to the ring, by the way? Apparently, he's making a return to the ring, and he seems like he wants the Hardcore King. I mean, what do you guys make of that? One more run from Mr. Tibbs coming back? No?
Hey, I'm all for it, man. I'm all for anybody wanting to step in the ring.
Those that are experienced, from what you're telling us, right?
Those that are experienced and those who know what they're doing, yes.
So that would mean I'm going to stay right here on this side because I don't know what I'm doing. Although you might actually want me in the ring so you could beat me up a little bit.
No, I want Tom to be the special guest referee. That's what I would want.
You're not the only one. There's like 80 people that message me every day. Can you be like a referee? Can you be something? And I'm like, I don't know. You might want to kill me afterwards. Like, show him the true me. Oh, I see. Mr. Tibbs really doesn't like Atomic Titan. And also, check his message. I don't know what that meant, but thank you. Cousin Condry. Yeah, Cousin Condry is definitely a badass. Yeah. And I want to say hello to Il Drago from our friends over in the IMF. Il Drago is a big fan of ours. And Il Drago, are you going to be on the show next Thursday? We have a show. It's called Summer Heat. It's the IMF show next Saturday. We have a bunch of stars from the IMF who are going to be here. And are you going to be here on Sportswire for that? That's a good question. That's what maybe I'm going to meet you for the first time. Also, yeah, AJ Styles' run in TNA was epic. His run in WWE was good, but it was like, it wasn't like Michael Jordan playing for the Wizards, but it was kind of like LeBron playing for the Heat. That was a good line, right? AJ Styles was like LeBron playing for the Heat.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't LeBron playing for the Cavs, Want to say hello to our buddy, Mr. TBK, the Baltimore Kid. How you doing, my friend? Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, I hope you're feeling better, and my prayers go out to TBK. Let's give him a nice little few prayers out there. He's obviously dealing with a couple of health issues. We hope that you'll do very well, and God bless you and your family. By the way, Tom and the gang, did you hear that Jeff Hardy is back in TNA? And didn't we not talk about that like 10 minutes ago?
He was confirming it. Yeah, I saw rumors that apparently he actually did make his return tonight.
Well, that's good. I actually would like to see Jeff Hardy in TNA because if real quick, like everything in AEW these days, I don't even remember. Did Jeff Hardy do anything in AEW?
We saw him live in his Texas Death Match or whatever it was with Jeff Jarrett when they came to Tennessee. And I loved it because, I'm a huge Jeff Hardy fan. I got into wrestling because of Jeff Hardy. My hair is long and colored because of Jeff Hardy.
You do have colorful hair. A lot more colorful than mine.
I love to see. I got to see a swanton bomb through a table live. So that's a W for me. But I would love to see the Antichrist of professional wrestling back.
It's kind of like some figures we have on Sportswire in the backyard in the underground. But you're not, thankfully, one of those Antichrist. Shane might be in that category. I might be in that category. Some other usuals might be in that category, but not you, Alan. You're just like D'Angelo, just a good boy, just a good, humble young man, just a good soldier, just a good soul, a good, pure, innocent soul. And thank you to our owner, Mr. Joshua Allen, who confirmed also that Jeff Hardy is back in TNA, which I actually think that Jeff Hardy had some great years in TNA. He really did have great moments in TNA. So I would love to see that. And that's the one point on Jeff Jarrett. Does this guy ever age?
Oh, I don't even call him Jeff Jarrett. I call him Slap Nuts. It's a wild slap
Nuts.
I think we can say that live on Sportswire. I think we can say that live. My dream match for Moose is Moose versus Drew McIntyre in WWE. That's a good one. That's a good one. Touche. I'll give you that much. ECW was under the NWA banter. Correct. That's the early inception of ECW. Is Eastern Championship Wrestling. and before they went Extreme under Paul Heyman. So ECW did the first Forbidden Door, having WCW stars. Yeah, right. They did have that. Correct. I think even if I'm not mistaken, Josh he's like the historian. I think Cactus Jack actually appeared in ECW while as a WCW worker. Thank you very much. And by the way, Darkron confirms that he has heard that the Trendsetter is going to be there at Summer Bash.
Oh yeah, you never know what I'm gonna do at Summer Bash.
I don't know what you're going to do. I actually don't know what you're going to do, believe it or not. Because, I actually don't ask people what they're going to do on shows. I only talk about them. So, that's me trying to be good and pure, at least in something, right? Got to try to be something. But, yeah, definitely we love TBK. We hope and pray that he's doing well. Okay, so we'll get that out of the way, and we'll maybe keep the poster up. But, yeah, Foley did. Yeah, Foley appeared in ECW. I think a couple of guys actually. I think Too Cold Scorpio did it once upon a time. I think Shane Douglas was still under that agreement. There's a few other guys. But, is there anything else before I come back to TBW for a few minutes? And unfortunately for you, Alan, bring up that match with Jay Wild, the Prophet. But anything else on your guys' mind that you'd like to address or bring up before I, move on?
Yes, with the addition of Summer Bash.
Yes.
Another thing that I would like to see happen in the backyard, I'm actually, it's crazy. Here in the past about 3 years, I've been a huge fan of the wrestling work in Japan.
Yes.
And I love the idea of the G1 Climax. I think it's a wonderful idea. And I really haven't seen any of that in the backyard scene. I would love to be a part of a backyard G1 Climax. So if anyone has any ideas, I'm all for it.
Would that be something that I don't know if we'd be able to pull it off in this year's Summer Bash based on, that's up to the guys running it. But would that be something you'd like to see at future Summer Bashes or future events?
Future events in general. I'm not talking about Summer Bash. I'm talking about like future events. If someone was wanting to do an event, I would suggest something around a G1 Climax. It's a tournament full of backyard wrestlers from different companies representing their brand would be actually a pretty cool concept.
Oh, for sure. And I think you're seeing a little bit of that in a way. There's a thing before I get to TBK's comment. He's got a good question. I'm going to read it in a minute. But there's a thing right now, which D'Angelo's a part of, called the Riot in the Ring. And it's people from like TF Crew, WCW, ZW, that's CW, WCW, ZW, HCW. You have promotions and UWF, and you have promotions like Resurrection, obviously, Resi, and you have the NEW company as a whole. It's a list of, it's like 15 promotions, if I'm mistaken. So that's kind of, in a way, I think, a part of that. And I think that it's always good to have companies from everywhere. There's got to be like hundreds of companies in the backyard in the underground, but to have ones, even on this platform, be a part of, that's a pretty cool thing. And Darkron would like to say he's down with a G1 type tournament.
Oh yeah, it's just a cool concept, man. And like, I don't know, I'm really into bringing in different aspects to the backyard. That's one of the reasons why I started wearing a different attire to the ring. A lot of the NBA guys wear two different color shoes. It's the same shoe, but two different color shoes.
I noticed that on Instagram. There was a little kid. There's a guy. He's very famous where I live. He does these videos on Instagram. He's a pizza guy. And his kid was wearing two pairs of shoes with different colors. And he asked him, well, why do you do that? He said kind of what you just said just now. So it's a big thing right now in the world. Different.
Oh, yeah. Different yeah, I haven't seen that really much in professional wrestling. And I was like, well, I want to try something out.
Well, Cena would have been the guy to do it, but Cena now is past his prime. And speaking of companies, like I kind of mentioned G1, NEW, Underground Wrestling, Riot in the Ring, and big shout out to the guys because they're closing in on 2,000 subscribers on YouTube, and D'Angelo the Flame wrestled there. And I'm actually might as well give him a big plug and check him out at NEW Underground Wrestling. Check him out on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and so many other places. And maybe you could show up there in Massachusetts one day. After all, D'Angelo was there.
Hey, the Trendsetter is down to travel, so I'm down to go wherever, wrestle whoever.
Well, you know what? They got a great roster. They got Jake Matthews, they got Power Surge, they got D Savage, they got Tyson Spade, Reyes Silver, Zero, Leonidas. I won't mention Prince Chandler, and because Jake will kill me, but they got some kick-ass talent there. That'd be interesting to try to stay trendy and go over there.
Oh yeah, I mean I'm down for whatever. My 2024, 2025 and all, we're looking pretty open. So let's get
Well,
the
you know what? I'm going to give him actually a plug before I do come back to TBK's question, because he does have a question. I like to read it. But actually, since I'm in such a giving mood today, and for whatever reason, I should be more in a giving mood, but I'm not more in a giving mood. But I'm going to give our friends over at NEW Underground Wrestling a very, very big plug, because Shane Davidson, I guess, maybe read the tea leaves. Who knows? But this is their YouTube page. Check them out. They have almost 2,000 subscribers. The Riot in the Ring is up. You can watch it right here if you'd like to. It's on their YouTube channel. You can see there he is, the boy himself, D'Angelo the Flame. Check it out. Go support them. Maybe Alan Michaels will be there one day, and you'll see things like this in the ring. It's all Wrestling Matters. These guys do a great job on that, so go support those that go out there and support us. They are NEW. They're NEW's Underground Wrestling, and Shane Davidson said he's got to go. So we'll see you soon, Shane. Thanks as always. But obviously, you'll see more of this action here. You can do that at the NEW Underground Wrestling YouTube page. You also check out some of these links here. Patreon. I'm a paid subscriber. You joined the movement. They're on Instagram, Facebook. So, Alan, I'm sure that will certainly take care of you going there if that's something you desire. But let me pull this back up. Let me get to TBK's question and Ethan's question before I want to talk about JWoww before we leave. June 17th, boys. Uncle Howdy and the Wyatt 6 debut is intimate. You all hyped or still skeptical?
I'm pretty hyped about it. I was a huge fan of what Bray did. I was a huge fan of everything around that. And I've always been a Bo Dallas fan, believe it or not. I believed myself back in NXT Black and Gold.
You look like you'd be a Bo Dallas believer or Bo.
Hey, he has a lot of talent, man. And the only thing
he apparently went out with Liv Morgan for a while, so you really had to believe, huh?
Oh yeah. But when he came back in the B team and he had that beard and ponytail going on, I don't know if you've ever watched that movie Little Man before.
Yeah,
but there's a character in that movie.
Yep.
Well, there's 2 bodyguards, and one of them had like the little beard thing, and he had a ponytail.
Yeah.
I could not unsee that every single time it came on screen. But I digress with that. But I'm excited to see what they can if they can pull it off the way that everyone's thinking they're gonna pull it off.
I hope they do for the fans of Bray Wyatt and the fans that want to see this all come together. And I'm looking forward to watching tomorrow's show. And my dream match would be Randy Orton versus The Rock 1-on-1, because technically we'd only got an Evolution versus The Rock and Sock Connection at Madison Square Garden. Yeah, it's a good one. But The Rock, I just read, got injured on a movie, so I really don't know what that implicates for his wrestling career.
Yeah, and we've seen Randy can still go, but I don't know if that would be 2 of the guys I'd see put together, because you can put The Rock with Roman and put him with Seth and Cody. And Seth and Cody.
Guys that can protect him a little bit, kind of cover some of the things that would expose him.
A full 1-on-1 match with someone who isn't Cody Rhodes right now is just not looking like it's going to be in the cards.
Yeah, it's interesting with The Rock, because Randy Orton's a good one, and then they always said Shawn Michaels versus The Rock was one that we didn't get to see, because The Rock and Shawn Michaels sort of overlapped. They kind of did, but kind of didn't really at their peaks. But Randy Orton and the Rock is another matchup that you would have liked to have seen. That's a very good one. And don't mention it. Thanks. You can certainly say thank you later. And also, we're all hyped. Yep, and hyped for Wyatt 6. But Alan, I don't know. I'm going to show this. I know before the show ended, I had to certainly save for what I think was the best for last time, that we've gotten some of the pageantries out of the way, is that certainly, kind of speaking of things and that you may or may not be hyped for, I wanted to actually put up on the screen here what everybody's talking about here, and that is, match that you just took place here coming up, which was last night in the main event of episode 163. And that was none other than you and Mr. JWoww himself. And we see you here on the screen, and we got it right back up for the audience. And, here we go. And you're alive.
Worldwide champion here on the main event of Rampage. 153. And folks, I am joined by now my former friend here, Troy Scott. It's that time. It's
Main event time!
Here we go, main event time for Rampage. And there you see, Scott, the trendsetter, Alan Michaels, gonna do battle against Jay Wild, folks.
And Ross, look at that 999. That's the opposite of evil.
Indeed, it is the opposite of what that disgusting
All right, we'll take the music
devilish heathen
volume down.
put on our Titantron earlier tonight in the opening broadcast.
Is Alan Michaels going to be able to get the job done here tonight in the main event? And what happened to Roger Cross?
Well, he's on the Atomic Titan Respect campaign. You know,
Well, I'm on that campaign too, but by the way, some intro there, Alan, in the main event against the newly crowned world heavyweight champion. Let's watch the match for a little bit and, you know, what's going through your head here? I mean, kind of bold to go out there and do a 999. We saw the segment earlier on TBW's Rampage 163. You kind of confronted him, kind of joked around with him a little bit, but it's set up for this. And, you know, what's going through your mind right now, Alan?
At this point, I am pretty hyped. I'm not gonna lie to you. You know, getting to go one-on-one with the world heavyweight champion is a big opportunity.
Right off the bat, right off the bat.
I mean, yeah. So I'm hyped right now and kind of confident going into it. You know, I did pick up the victory for me and Russell Cooper in our tag
3
team
weeks
match
ago,
against
yep.
the Prophecy. So I'm pretty confident going into it. He says some things that rub me the wrong way, but I also ruffled his feathers a little bit as well.
So you feel like that victory gives you a sign that you can go 2 for 2, huh?
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely confident going into this one, and even still now confident that I can beat Jay Wild.
It's a different Jay Wild though than we've seen even in the past. We're in this dark era right now, a dark era that we've seen unlike in, I would dare say, in TBW and the history of this circuit in the backyard in the underground.
See, we are in some dark times, but you know what?
We're in dark times in the world and in TBW.
the light always prospers.
I have heard of the expression light at the end of the tunnel, but Jay Wild doesn't believe in that. And when is the Wrestlers Court going to be on the podcast? I don't know if we're going to do that, to be honest, right now. You'll have to watch this match because we're watching Jay Wild and Alan Michaels. Let's stick to this for now. And there's Ref Carter, a man that looks like he could probably do 100 push-ups, even in the humidity of Tennessee and Lafayette. But there we go. And Ref Carter, who looks like he could throw a few punches on the round. And I want to say hello, yes, to our good friend, Mr. DG Cole. Yes, hell of an episode, Riot in the Ring. D'Angelo the Flame kicks some ass. Stephen Havoc is here Sunday night, 7 o'clock Eastern time. Tune in for that. Jake Matthews and Tyson Spade met. What a kick-ass match that was. A lot of great matches. Doc Holliday was in action, but Alan Michaels and Jay Wild, this is about to be a banger here. Banger. And there's Alan, and we see here, there's Jay Wild, and he's looking at you like, not like last time there, Alan Michaels. This confidence, I don't know. Confidence could be going too far here right now.
Nah, I gotta get in his head.
You don't seem like anything is working though.
Hey, he may have a stone cold face, but on the inside, he's like, that's a big dude right there.
And Brent says, "Am I exhausted?" Well, I think in the last week, no joke, I think I've been on Sportswire live like 23 hours. So yeah, my voice is definitely ending, in about 20 minutes. So yeah, but I'm good. But I'm good right now. I'm having fun. I'm happy you're having fun too. And thank you so much for all of your support and everybody out there. But this is going to be a banger. I've got a chance to watch this match twice, and hopefully you join me in watching it as well. And here's the lockup here. I mean, this lockup felt different, Alan, going into this.
I had to show off some strength. I had to show him that I wasn't,
hitting the gym.
I wasn't
there.
little. Oh, yeah, hitting the gym always
working to live, right? Working. You got Liv Morgan in the back seat of your mind. You got world title plans eventually down the road with a win, right? That's what you're working on.
Oh yeah.
And we see here just a solid lockup here. Solid, interesting strategy here you have. Going with kind of the lockup, the methodical, kind of a different pace we saw with you and LaFlame. Is there a different strategy here in this match first with LaFlame?
Yeah, I don't really have to keep Jay Wild grounded. He's not one that really goes up top and he's really fast. You know, I'm really just trying to show him that I'm built different right here. Show him that.
Very physical start. I mean, you kind of are going with the cocky confidence, mild cockiness, but certainly a very confident, strong start here to the champion and his first match after decimating Russell Cooper and your friend Russell Cooper. And there, boy, these are some fiery punches. I mean, I'm seeing a little more fire here tonight than when we saw at Anniversary 7.
Yeah, he rubbed me the wrong way backstage. And on top of that, I have to get my get backs from my friend.
And the food poisoning, by the way, right? That food poisoning still is.
Oh yeah, that wasn't great. Wasn't great at all. I wouldn't recommend it.
Poisoning? Was it like I don't even know.
Well, it didn't taste any differently, but I'll tell you that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm sure you took a lot of Pepto-Bismol, right?
Too much. That stuff's not cheap, Tom.
Oh, I'm aware. I had a conversation today, and the person when I was at the register was like, "Everything's expensive now." I'm like, "You think?" I mean, everything's going up, but certainly you're now taking some punishment here from Jay Wild, and those punches definitely look like they're connected.
Oh, for sure. He raked me in my eyes. Ref Carter, you gotta step in right there. He raked me in my eyes.
Ref Carter has like the biggest arms of like anybody. Period. Period.
I'm telling you, man, I don't understand why people keep messing with him. One of these days, he's to go off and give him
his fist looks like it's bigger than like my face. I mean, maybe it's him and Power Surge and NEW. They have like the biggest arms anywhere. I mean, I don't know, but that's their decision, I suppose. But Alan, I mean, Jay Wild's kind of mocking you here a little bit now. You've hit a little dark times in the match.
Yeah, he was staying on top of me. It's smart for him to do that because you give me a little inch of room and I'm taking advantage of it.
What kind of wrestler is he like versus D'Angelo LaFlame? What does he do differently that makes him so successful in the ring?
It's a mix. It's a mix of his strength because he is strong. I give Jay Wild that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's a big guy. You could see it. I mean, when he wrestled James Taylor, we saw a lot of that come out. But obviously, this is a big dude. I mean, I would definitely not want to mess with this guy.
He can also move pretty well for his size too, man.
You saw him off the top rope there. How about that in his arsenal?
Oh yeah, I mean, he's definitely. There's a reason he is the TBW World Heavyweight Champion, and he has that mean streak, and he's not afraid to cheat. He's not afraid to cheat at all. And he's a very tough competitor. It's going to take a little bit more to get him down.
Is he the toughest competitor you ever faced in a ring?
As of right now, he is the toughest competitor I faced in the ring. There's someone who I could say is a close second as well.
That person was off that stream. Was off the stream here about 10 minutes ago. That second person. Good answer, because he'll probably be back on Sportswire next week, or I'm sure during the week.
You never know what you might pop up.
That's true too. Good point. They're kind of like almost maybe this. I won't even go in there. But we see here you're down a little bit, and you're obviously now taking some punishment here in the match.
Yeah, when I got thrown out the ring, when I clipped my left butt cheek on the apron.
This is the second week in a row you've had a match, or second match in a row that I didn't want to say something was exposed. I didn't want to, bring it up because we are still a family station despite all the things you said. But obviously there was a body part exposed.
I'm aware and I'm working on it.
That's okay. I wasn't going to bring it up. I do try to be a good friend. I would think I've been a good friend, Alan. So I didn't want to.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, Alan. I really appreciate you. But obviously you're back on your feet. And by the way, you like the shorts? New attire there with the shorts. How do you like the new attire? This was, I think, great. By the way, your best move I've seen you do. That leg DDT. Talk about that move.
Oh, I took inspiration from The Miz. Whenever I see him do a DDT, it's a regular, from the knees DDT, he always kicks that leg back. And I feel like that does give me more power to actually drive his leg in the ground.
And you got here, that was not a nice little move here. You kind of did some, I guess, almost like you're shaking him down and you took him off the rope there. Kind of a clever move there. And you're back on your feet a little bit now.
Oh yeah, at this point, I've taken some damage. I'm definitely feeling the effects of the forearms to the back of the neck, getting thrown out the ring. But I'm still in it. I'm still in it. He's definitely feeling the effects right now of that leg DDT.
And you could see now he's starting to argue a little bit. And you see, obviously, do you think that maybe he's also feeling some of the effects of his match with Russell Cooper at Anniversary 7? I mean, does that come into play a little bit, you think?
Oh, for sure. He Russell Cooper really took him to the.
Oh, that's
to
a
the
match
limit.
that, I mean, people in other places were talking about that match still. People would come on here and say, wow, it was a really damn good match. And it absolutely was. And that's why it was Anniversary 7, the greatest backyard underground wrestling show in history. And go out and check it out in the Tennessee Backyard Wrestling YouTube page, TBW 2017. And we see him once again trying to use the top rope to gain some more offense and momentum back in the match. And he does kind of his own version of the Randy Savage elbow drop there. And he gets a count here and a 1-2, and you do kick out. And, obviously, the longer the match goes, do you think it favored you more in this or Jay Wild?
It favored. I can't really say. I think it still favors me in a way because I can take a lot of damage and still go. At the end of the day, it takes a lot to take me down. And you can see here, he's getting frustrated, yelling at the referee. He's bound to make a mistake, and I am one to capitalize off mistakes.
And we could see here a little bit that you're sort of down, but you're about to, I believe, in the spot in the match, just start to make a comeback. But what's with these slaps here?
And this is his mistake, pissing me off.
I know. That's why I said you're about to make a comeback. And boy, you lifted him up here and you sort of got him on like a mini fireman's carry. And you got to count was pretty close here, if I recall correctly. And, you see him here and he's starting to feel the effects. And how about that replay? And we'll certainly not bring up your pants, but you did obviously get a pretty good count in the match and you're right back in it.
Oh, yeah. I call that the Michaels drop.
Well, you certainly did have a Michaels drop there. That was certainly quite a drop there. We're used to other type of mic drops, but that was a great Michaels drop on Sportswire Radio. Hopefully you'll get more of those in this match, which I happen to think you'll have some more offense and you take the shirt off. Thankfully, it wasn't a Pittsburgh Steelers shirt this time, but it looks like we're getting ready for trigger time. And that was pretty. I got to tell you, when I watched it the first time, the second time, and the third time, that was pretty. And you thought you had him there, right?
I thought it for sure. That's the move I hit on him last time to take him out. Yep. But for someone like Jay Watt, I'm going to have to pull out something that I haven't used in a while.
Now you connected. That was beautiful. I got to say, the way you connected that was like beautiful. You couldn't have executed that any better.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I work on the trigger a lot.
And we see here now, both of you were down in the match, and Ref Carter is obviously attending to both of you guys. He's about to start that count to get you guys to see if he come back up. But the champion slowly gets back up on his feet, and you could see it. Boy, the champion's certainly laboring. I mean, he's really struggling here in this match, and I think certainly you could make a point, Alan. You're right that he, obviously, the longer this match goes on, doesn't favor him because he just had that physical match with Cooper, and he's still feeling those effects, and you can see it right now, but he's certainly a champion for a reason, and you're about to find that out firsthand, and we see some action here outside, and again, if you are out there on Sportswire Radio, please support our friends over at Tennessee Backyard Wrestling at TBW 2017. They are closing in on 8,000 subscribers on YouTube. They're at Tennessee Backyard Wrestling on TikTok, Instagram. They're on Facebook. Go support them. Alan Michaels works for that company. We're going to put up Alan's Instagram page up after the match when we get to closing thoughts. But in the meantime, we're watching the second half of the match here between Jay Wild, the Prophet, who's the brand new Tennessee Backyard Wrestling World Champion. We are in dark days here, in a dark era. He is the most ruthless, cunning world champion maybe in history of any backyard or underground circuit we've seen, known to man, against Alan Michaels, your friend, my friend, Sportswire Radio Hall of Famer, the host of the Staying Trendy show, and also rapper, TikTok influencer, and everything else in between, and loves Liv Morgan, and certainly wants a date with Liv Morgan. And Liv, if you're listening to this out there, forget about Dom. Just go to Alan because he's got the Michaels drop.
Yeah, at this point, the match time, I mean, I really thought that Trinity Trigger was going to.
That was the match that you go back and that was where you lost momentum.
That right there, but there's something in me that just won't let me quit. I can't stop.
That's what you've shown in your comeback this season. Whether it's been in there with Titan, LaFlame, whether it's been Wild. I mean, you have shown that you don't go down easy, and you're a big guy after all, ex-football player as well. And look at this here, boom! I mean, that was, I don't know how you pulled that off there.
Hey, I'm a toot my own horn. That looked beautiful. I'm not even gonna lie.
You know what? You put some stuff in it. I could see you're definitely a trained wrestler.
Yeah. It's a better move to roll out the ring. I had to gain my
bought yourself time. Yeah, bought yourself time. Good move. Definitely move that, hopefully allows you to hang into the match. You get a little bit of a breather. Obviously, weather a factor as well. And Ref Carter starts to count, but get that replay. And boy, what a replay there. I mean, kind of I guess some kind of modified suplex off the top rope there, right? Kind of maybe backbreaker suplex kind of deal a little bit, right? In that frame, right?
He hit me with a tornado DDT.
Oh, okay. It looked like some sort of inverted thing, but you come back up, and that was really where it all went downhill officially, because you hit Ref Carter, and I'm sure Ref Carter is going to remember this because he has been watching shows lately on Sportswire, but the brass knuckles, and this is where it comes into play a few times. But let's see the first line of communication, and that's one. And still didn't go down. Yeah, I think that was probably your worst point. But how about this here right off the top rope? That's number 2. And he dropped it there. And that's a Mike, not a Michael's drop, but a mic drop. But yeah, 2. Unfortunately, Alan Michaels, that's all she wrote. And, my condolences. I'm sorry that you lost the match. And, Jay Wild certainly now, he's goading in your face. And, it's a tough one. I really, it's a tough one. I'm so sorry.
It is. But hey,
it is good for business if you would have won the match. So really, I am being sorry, because it actually would have been better for Sportswire if you won the match yesterday, because I probably could have, instead of having ADT, maybe we would have had you on at 8 o'clock instead. No, we love ADT. No, it was great to have ADT, but we would have certainly been more victorious if you would have been here after him. But the point's taken.
But hey, it shows me, and it shows backstage that, and I hope that Mr. Joshua Allen's watching, and I hope he's seeing this replay of what happened last night. And I have no questions in my mind that after Joshua Allen sees that it won't be the end between me and the Prophet.
But okay, so you say it's not the end. He beat you though, but where does Alan Michaels go from here after this? Where do you go from here?
Well, I think the best way to say that is that you will have to watch episode 164.
Oh, well, that's an excellent plug. I couldn't have agreed more with that plug. And you can actually support Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, again, on YouTube. You can support them on Facebook, Instagram. And actually, if you want to be able to support Alan Michaels, we want to support those that certainly support us before we get to a few other things. You can do it right here on Instagram, because it's very much easy to do that. You can follow him right here on Instagram, and you can get him here. That's where you can see some of these different things. It was brutal, but you know what? He hung in there. He has a lot to be proud of. And we already played it. But the point is that he definitely has a lot to be proud of. And we're very excited about what he's going to do in the future. So make sure you support those that support us. And he's also on Threads as well. But I don't even really know how many people use Threads. I'm on Threads, and I'm like, why am I on Threads? But he's on Threads. He's on TikTok and a whole list of other places. So anything else you want to say about TBW? Anything else you want to say before closing thoughts here? And, obviously, where do we go from here?
Where do we go from here? And my thoughts on what happened last night. Last night, all in all, even though I took the loss, I still consider it a victory. It's showing that I'm in the right direction. It's definitely showing that, the people, who are backstage are seeing the potential of Alan Michaels, and I'm more than happy to keep stepping in that ring every single week and showing why, I'm where I am.
Well, you know what? I got a good feeling about that. And I want everybody to join me to follow Alan Michaels on Instagram. And we've also been joined here over the past half an hour on the Promo Wrestling Federation YouTube page, which Alan Michaels is a part of, and also the Pride Wrestling Federation and their extra YouTube page, which was once upon a time owned by the Atomic Titan. So you can check us out on all those other platforms. So please support those. that support us. And I hope to see more of Alan coming up on Rampage. You'll see episode 164 soon. And Rebellion is the next big show. So we'll see what happens. There are a lot of great things that happen. We saw this whole thing with Jacob Young and Joe Anderson. That was kind of weird. We saw, I guess, Manny Cobra and Atomic Titan still going back and forth with it. Gage Flair did get the victory. We've seen William Walker Osborne, and he got a big victory. He seems to be the Macon Iron Cup fitness winner. Got a lot of momentum there with him. And we've obviously got what happened with the prophecy at the beginning of the show. I mean, there's so much to unpack at Tennessee Backyard Wrestling, especially after episode 163. Again, already over 1,000 people have watched the show. I mean, just a lot of great things ahead. And obviously, we want to thank BYCW and Resurrection Wrestling for being a part of Anniversary 7, the greatest backyard wrestling show in history. So Robbie Andrews was also a huge part of things yesterday. Just a lot of stuff ahead. And it may be dark days ahead, but Alan Michaels is always going to stay sunny and trendy, and he's going to certainly make sure he does a few Michaels drops here and some. So I think, Alan, it's time to give you the floor, give you some closing thoughts. Anything else you may like to plug, share, or say, and let's take it away. And quite a fun week on Sportswire Radio, and we close it out maybe with the biggest main eventer of them all.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Tom. And for final thoughts, if you haven't already, go ahead, subscribe to Tennessee Backyard Wrestling. Go check out episode 163. It's more things here to come. We're only getting started here. And I'm excited for the future with all of my endeavors.
Amen to that. You can check Alan out there on those platforms. Also buy some merchandise. I'm going to be buying some merchandise soon because at this point, the only thing I own is wrestling shirts. I literally have so many wrestling shirts at this point. I probably could wear 2 of them at the same time. So why not add more? But also, most importantly, it's important to support our wrestlers and buying them shirts because it helps the companies and it helps them be able to do the things that they want to do. These things are very expensive, they're costly, and these guys put their blood, sweat, and tears out there. True guys do it like Alan Michaels for the love of this sport. They do it because they care. They do it because they love us. Let's support those that love us. And Alan is such an important part of our community. He is truly one of my closest friends, one of the best people that I've ever got a chance to share a microphone with and gotten to know. So let's support guys like him. Let's support all the great people that come on here. And Alan, I am sure next Friday we'll have something better to talk about. You'll have to follow up Brian White from IWA, but we'll have a fun conversation, I'm sure, next Friday. We'll see what happens, and I'm sure you'll pop up before that because I'm always here on Sportswire. Something tells me, depending on who's on the platform, you may pop in, but I'm sure you'll be in the chat, and I'm looking forward to what's to come, and I definitely look forward to seeing you. But you know what? Congratulations, though, on 2 great matches back-to-back. You wrestled D'Angelo the Flame, opening match, the greatest backyard underground wrestling show in history, opening match, fantastic banger. And then you give Jay Wild his first match after he wins that Tennessee Backyard Wrestling World Championship and gave him quite a run for his money. So a lot to be proud of. We're all proud of you here on Sportswire Radio. You've shown why when I inducted you a few months ago that I knew I'd be onto something. We didn't know then, but I said I was inducting you for the future. And boy, it looks like I could maybe be the prophet. Maybe I should be the prophet Tom Bryce, but we don't want to go there because Jay Wild will come after me. He'll probably find out where I live. But looking forward to seeing you soon. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, who barely has a voice, but I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you're on sportswireradio.org, you're going back to your regular schedule programming. I will be here tomorrow at some point. I think I'm here with either an open mic or CJ, the UWA Underground Heavyweight Champion. And also I'll be here Sunday, not once but twice, with Stefan Havoc of NEW Underground Wrestling. And at 9 o'clock, Big Tex of DBW. He's the big man of DBW, and we'll certainly see them. But until then, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. On the number one, level radio, that is Sportswire Radio, where all wrestling matters. And follow Alan Michaels right there. And thank you, everybody, for the Promo Wrestling Federation that is tuned in. And I'll see you.